Hello origami friends, I'm Tim Rickman and this is the tutorial for my origami model Flying Squirrel. For this tutorial I'll be using a piece of origami paper that is two-sided, brown on the top and white underneath. Before you begin, you want to fold the paper into a 32 by 32 box pleated grid. If you don't know how to fold this, a tutorial for this can be found at the beginning of my video for origami scalloped bowl. I'll try to remember to put a link in the video description. Now the first step in this model is you want to fold a diagonal from corner to corner, and then you want to pleat one side, mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold. And you will have 4 ridges along one side. And you want to do the same thing to one of the opposite diagonal angles. And where they meet, you're going to fold along that diagonal. So, mountain fold, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. And you will be left with this flap at the end. I'm going to fold the paper underneath the model and then give a diagonal crease to this flap here one way, running parallel with this side, and then the other way, running parallel with the other side. This will help you later on in the model when you have to move this flap around. Now, along the other 2 edges, what you want to do is valley fold up until the creases you've just made, mountain fold, valley fold, mountain fold. So just 4 there. And the same thing along the other edge, valley, mountain, valley, and mountain. Now you'll be left with a similar but smaller flap, and do the same thing with that now. Just fold it diagonally one way and then the other. Now where these 2 meet, the 4 ridges and these ridges on this side, what you're going to do is on the last valley fold, this corner here, you're going to fold diagonally a valley fold, bringing this edge to this edge, and then a mountain fold. And now going back the other way, you're going to do a mountain fold and a valley fold. And if you put your finger underneath in this corner here to support it, and then collapse the model like this here, and then push here, should create a flap that looks something like this. And you want to do that on both sides. And once you've done that, you'll see there's a lip that runs along the edge of the model. You want to make a diagonal fold here, just so you'd be able to lie the model flat. And do the same thing on the other side here. You want to make a diagonal valley fold and a mountain fold, and then come back the other way, mountain fold, and then put your finger underneath this corner here, 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and I believe 8 in. Crimp this, and then push on this side along that diagonal valley fold, and it should create a flap like this. And push that back towards the corner, and then make your diagonal fold here, so that you will be able to lie the model flat now. Now, this is what the model should look like now. And the next step is to create a crease that runs from the head to the tail, parallel to the diagonal line that runs through the center of the model. And you want to go with this top corner, counting down 1, 2 boxes from there. You want to start at the top of that diamond, and also at this end, 1, 2. That's your starting point. And then you just fold along this edge here, parallel to the central line, using 2 points inward as your reference. And this line should run along the bottom edge of all these tiny triangles at the bottom here. And this edge should line up with 1, 2 lines inward and meet at this point, 1, 2 down from the top. And you want to do this on both sides. So fold and unfold, turn the model over, and again, one, 2, fold this edge along that edge, and from the other side as well. And this crease should meet along the bottom point of all these triangles that run along the bottom of the model. Now that you have those, you're going to find the head of the model, which will be, if you find the feet, the sides that the feet are on, it will be the shorter flap that, if you're using 2-colored origami paper, will be the lighter side. And this point here will come down to touch the center of the model. Here. So it's a little bit lower than from this point to this point. And it should be from the beginning of the model. After you box pleated, you do your diagonal folds. You will see that there is a line that's running parallel here that intersects with the line in the middle of the model here. It should be 2 down, right? 1.5 down from this point here. Anyway, you will see it if you folded the diagonals at the beginning of the model. So I'm going to turn this around. It's a little easier for me to fold that way. You point the top corner to that, what would be the center if you unfolded the model completely, but you don't have to do that. And it will run along this line and this line here. You want to get this correct, because it'll throw off the whole model if you don't get that correct. And again, this line will run along the bottom edges, the bottom points of all these diamond shapes here at the bottom. Now, leave that flap folded down. You're going to turn the model over, and this line that is to the right, parallel of the center crease, you want to fold this edge to that crease. And there's already a crease that you can fold this along that comes up to that corner. Go ahead and fold this edge to that crease that's just to the right of the center that you've already created. To make sure, There we are. And do the same thing on the other side. Fold this bottom edge to the line that runs parallel to the center. And just be careful here in the corner where the paper wants to bunch up. Kind of use your finger to smush the paper in so that it will lie flat. Once your model looks like this, you want to turn the paper over again. And now you want to fold this edge to the very center. And you want to allow this flap here to come up above rather than getting folded down with the flap, the layer that's underneath it. So you fold this edge to the center, being very careful. You want to be very precise here. And it's better if these fingers are pointed downward now toward the tail. And again, you want to watch, the paper wants to bunch up right here. Just smooth it out with your finger and press down. And do the same thing on the other side. Fold this edge to the center. You want to fold this flap back like this. And it should fold along the edge you just made. Fold this along the center. You're creating a new crease here, and you're allowing this paper to come up rather than folding across and folding that underneath the model. Now this should line up here in a straight line, and let me see if I can get this right. And make sure the paper does not bunch up there. Point the fingers toward the tail and just gets them out of the way. It's not really necessary, it's just the way I prefer to fold it. Now, the model should look like this. There will be a flap hanging out of the center, and you have sort of this look to the model. And as you may have guessed, what we were going to do is unfold these and use the lines that we've just made to sink this part of the model toward the center. So you want to reverse fold the last angle you made here. Sink fold this, and then it's going to be folded along the same angle as you just made, and this edge should meet the center if you're doing it right. Okay. Fold like this. There we are. Kind of. Not. What's wrong? Ah, I see. Okay. So it should look lie like this. On one edge you have 1, 2, 3 flaps here. You want to do the same thing on the other side. Reverse fold the flaps you've made in the previous steps. This fold here. All right. And then you'll have 1, 2, 3 flaps on this side as well. So your model will look something like this. Okay. Now you want to petal fold this flap here by bringing this edge to the center, this edge to the center. Be Be very careful because there are a lot of layers to this. You just want to get this, fold this to the side again, fold this edge to the center on either side. Make sure that these 2 points meet more or less in the center there. And where these 2 corners meet, you're going to fold a line along those. Unfold these and push along an imaginary line that goes from this corner to this corner where the creases meet the edge there. And it should run more or less along the middle of 3 diamonds that go across the head. So push this back like so, and then reverse fold the creases you just made. They're going to be diagonal on the lower part. There, and then also here, and on the other side as well. And this will lie along the middle. Now the top part here is not lying flat. You don't want to squish that down too hard yet. Just flatten out, crease the bottom parts, and the part that won't lie flat, leave that alone for now. And once you have all this, what you want to do is pinch here and make diagonal fold here. So you pinch here and make 2 diagonal folds on either side and fold the flap to the side like this, just to get it out of the way. Now your model will look like this. Now what you're going to do is fold this top layer here over and fold this edge to the center through the 2 layers of the middle flap. And you're going to sink this also. Now you want to point the fingers downward, and the crease is going to go all the way to this sort of point where the hand comes into the body. So fold those down, and the crease is going to go all the way to that point right there. 1, 2 up to the point. And this little triangle here, this little flap, will not lie flat. You just kind of get as close as you can in to fold that tip down. And you want to make a pretty firm crease right there, because you're going to be reverse folding this as you did in one of the previous steps. So unfold that, then reach in here underneath this flap and reverse fold all of this so that now you have, push this back again. Now on this side you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 flaps. And do the same thing on the other side. You're going to move this flap back, fold this edge to the center. This part up here will not lie flat. Just get as close as you can. Make sure the fingers are folded down, and the bottom of this fold will come to 1, 2, the exact corner where this starts to come out of the body. And then you want to reverse fold that, unfold, put your finger underneath, reverse fold this, flatten along this crease, and then push that flap back, and then return that to its normal position. To make the model symmetrical again, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 flaps on this side as well. This is what your model should look like now. Now you are again going to do sort of a petal fold here. Fold this edge to the center and bring this up so you're going to create a crease also along this diagonal that runs along this layer here. You'll understand what I'm talking about. You push this up, have this layer, have this edge meet the center on the bottom part, and then have a crease run along the diagonal layer above it, and then push. You'll create this point. Push this point up, just like this. And you want to do the same thing on the other side. Lift underneath here. Make this edge go to the center. And then make a tiny pointed flap at the top. And running along that previous fold, and point them both upwards. Now this should be continuous line. If some of the paper has kind of come forward because it's too thick, just lift this up a little bit and roll that paper back underneath, because we're going to use this edge as a guide for our next step, which is to take the flap that the fingers are on, and you want to fold it back along this diagonal line that you just made. So take this, put your finger under here, and fold back along this line. Now if you've done everything right, I'm going to fold back here, and where the bottom of this point is, so here, this won't lie flat, but from this point in the middle of this sort of depression or bowl or pocket here, you're going to fold this back from there to the very corner up here, so along here. So press this back, and it should run parallel to a line that's already been created here, which is at 90 degrees to this edge here. So you want it to get close to that. Tweak it a little bit, make sure that it runs parallel to about the center of this row of squares here. Now you will have this 2 layers of paper, and you want to fold along the crease that is underneath them. So just fold this back, and now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold along this crease, the flap that the hand is on, and then from the corner of here to the very corner here, I'm going to fold this back parallel to a sort of diagonal crease that is already there on the paper from your box pleating. And now the 2 sides here should be more or less parallel. Get this straightened out here. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. You can manipulate the paper a little until it looks like it's where it needs to be. And then you take this flap here and just push it back. Alright. Now what you're going to do is take these flaps here, fold this edge to the edge that you just folded this paper back along here, and bisect that. And go through all the layers. There's some layers here, 2 and then maybe 3 around the edge. Just fold through all of that on this side and the other side. And now you want to stand this up and use a shaping tool to flatten that out. And it should look like this. Do the same thing to the other side, unfold it, stand it up. Use a shaping tool to poke inside and flatten that out along the creases you've just made. Should look like this. And then you want to petal fold these. So fold this edge and this edge to the center while pulling this part of the paper back, like this. And it will look like a little ear or something. Originally these were the ears when I was designing this model, but eventually they turned into part of a lock, which locks the head back. We're just pre-folding those now. You want to do the same thing on the other side. Fold the edge to the center while pulling back the excess material on the paper. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it to be fairly precise, and these edges running along the center to be as close as they can be. Now once you have that, you take these little points and fold them down. Take this point, fold it down. Alright. That's about all we're going to do with the front part of the model for right now. Now we're going to focus on the back. And what you want to do is take this lip and release some of the trapped paper. Fold it out like this. And you want to leave the tail folded up like this and the hand folded up like this. But you want to release some of the layers of the paper. It's kind of difficult to do, but how they're crimped here, you just want to unroll them while leaving the rest of the model you want to leave it folded. So fold down all of this. You'll see kind of like this. And now going from the corner where the hand is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Behind the square, right behind where this comes down, this corner here, there's a square. And you want to mount and fold there to give yourself a guideline for the next folds that you're going to make. Which the first one is going to be a valley fold diagonally from this line to this line along 12. Just through that very first square. It's kind of difficult to manipulate the paper here, but if you go like this, and then mount and fold on the next. It's difficult because the paper is not. Mount and fold through the diagonal of the next square, diamond, and then a valley fold. You're making a crimp here. Alright, once you have 3, you're going to come back the other way. So, another valley fold. then mountain, and valley, and mountain. And then collapse all this down. I'll show you what that looks like a little closer here. It looks like this. So you have a diagonal fold that goes through 1, 2, 3, and then turns around 1, 2, 3, 4 to the edge here. So you're going through 7 layers, and the one extra is on the bottom. Let me think now. You will maybe a little easier if you just go ahead and release the other side now as well. So release the trapped paper, and keeping the hand, well, you're going to undo the tail now, but keeping the hand up here intact, you're just going to unfurl these pleated layers here. 1, 2, undo them. Maybe easier if you start from the tail over. Be careful not to rip the paper. And just try the same thing on the other side. So from this diagonal, you want to go one full one back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I guess it's 13. The next full one behind this corner where the diagonal comes down. You fold, valley fold, mountain fold, valley fold, then valley fold back the other way, mountain fold, valley fold, and mountain fold. All right, now that you have this, we're getting closer to the end. What you're going to do is make a valley fold, or sorry, a mountain fold. So you sort of make a point opposite the last mountain fold you made there. And you make a valley fold. And a mountain fold. Let's see here. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, valley. Yes. Okay. So from this point in mountain, and it will make a point between two diagonals. Oops. Valley, mountain, valley, mountain, and this side, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, and then the last four are all valley, but just leave them alone for now. Should make sort of a diamond in the middle like that. Just leave that alone for now. And let me see here. The tail, what you want to do is to, you have the tip here and then this sunken layer. You want to push that first sunken layer up until you have this 4x4, one up from the tip, and then you want another 4x4 here and here. So it should look like this, and then where this comes across, you want to do valley fold diagonal, so it'll hold its shape. And same on the other side. Something simple like that. And then above that, sort of heart shape-ish thing, you want a groove. You want to keep that. And then above that should be the sort of diamond shape that we just created with all of those mountain and valley folds, like this. All right. Now, this part of the body here, let me see. You want to continue along, let me see here. Okay, so here, you want to go from the tip of the foot, come to here, 1, 2, over, here, and you want to fold a valley fold from that corner, 3 across, and 1 down. Through 1 layer. If you can manage that, kind of pre-fold that down. And then you want to continue that on. From that point, you want to go 3 back and 1 down. So all in all, you've gone 6 across and 2 down. And you made sort of diagonal fold like this. Now you want to continue along this valley fold all the way up to meet the opposite side valley fold, like this. Oh, you want to complete that on the other side as well. So the tip of the foot up to this point here, 1, 2 over, go from this point, fold a crease from that point to 1, 2, 3 over and 1 down. And then from that, 1, 2, 3 over and 1 down. About like so. Okay. Good enough. And once you have that, then you continue along these valley folds that sit right along the edge of the feet. And you want to make them meet at the top here. It gets a little messy here, but that's okay. Push. There. Now, what you're going to do is fold sort of a line across here from where these two layers meet up here. Right below that, there's going to be this layer that you folded these, the crease that you folded these parallel to, where they meet. 1, 2, the middle of the third one down from that, and a line 3 across. I don't know if you can see. You want to fold a line across those two here. I'll show you what that looks like. Like this, from here across 3, right above this point. It's the line of 3 that's right above there. You just want to push that back, fold across these, and this helps shape the body just a little bit. And push that material forward to conceal that point, make it less pointy. Give the body more of a round shape. Just like this. Like that. Good enough. And now you sort of continue this diamond shape, making all the mountain and valley folds in a diamond around the very center. And the last layer, you don't really worry about. You just leave it flat like that. You can crimp it if you want to, push it in, and just kind of work on shaping the body now, making it look normal. There should be like a little triangle or something here that forms. That's okay, however that wants to come together. And you want to turn the model over and just kind of push this over to one side to kind of get it to kind of close up there. That's fine. And just shape it however you think it should look in the back there. If you like the tail to point up, kind of shape the tail so it's pointed up. If you want the tail to point down, that's fine too. And now, I'm going to show you how to shape the head. You're going to take this point and grab here and spread these two points that are coming up here. You're going to spread those out like this. Okay? And kind of from this corner to here, that corner back there, kind of make a light crease just to get the idea of where it is. It's not going to be exactly along a crease that's already there, but kind of next to a crease that's already there. And then you push these out, these points that were just there, kind of push those out as you bring this back. It's difficult to do that part, but essentially what you're doing is making the flaps for the ears. Now the head of the model is going to be like this. We've pushed out the sides that are going to be our ears, and you want to pull this forward, this flap forward, along this line that runs along the face here. Make that a mountain fold, sort of. Fold along that line. You're going to take either your finger or a shaping tool, and as you bend this down, you also want to reverse how the ear wants to lay. it wants to curl in like this. You want it to poke out like this and make a nice round shape rather than this point. Just reach in there and pull it out and make sure that you have both that shape as well as a mountain fold across here. Now, once you've got the model looking like this, what you're going to do is open up this flap. And spread it out. You're going to go in a diamond, 1, 2, 3, 4, and along the tip of the bottom of a 4x4 diamond, you're going to bisect the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth diamond down in this center line. You're just going to crease across it, a mountain fold across it, and flatten that out like this. And now along the side, if you folded everything correctly, you should have a diagonal fold here. You want to lift up this first layer of paper and push it back. And then where this crease already exists, just reinforce that fold there, just along that crease, no further. And the same thing on the other side. Lift up this top flap and along that diagonal crease, it's going to run into the side corners of this 4x4 diamond that you've just sawed off the very tip of. And now, once you have this, you kind of want to push in the sides along the edge of that diamond. So you have sort of this shape on the top. Once you have all that, I'm going to bring the head back down again. Just kind of, I'm going to hold it here for a moment and show you what it should look like. So we have the sort of ear shapes here. Like this. So underneath where we've made this flap, okay, are these petal folds that we made earlier in the model. You want to undo these now. These are going to be sort of a lock for the edges of this diamond, which will hold the head in place. So you want to undo these all the way and fold them out to the sides. If I can get them out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and fold the model down. Take these 2 points and fold it down, and you'll see that you can take a shaping tool and poke down into, there's a pocket that each of these makes on either side. You want to kind of open those up. And now you want to take this diamond, fold this in half, and as best as you can, push either side down into those pockets. This may be difficult, it may be easy. It may require a little bit of wiggling. And it's not going to go all the way down to the center line. It's going to go to either side of this sort of divot that's made. But you want to push it down on either side as far as it will go, and then reform these petal folds. Reform the petal folds. Fold the tip down again, and then fold them in half. So both flaps are pointed away from the head. And then this little extra bit of paper kind of comes out like this to the side of it. I'm going to do that on both sides. Squish it, reform, petal fold. Fold the tip down, and then fold this flap across. And press everything down on either side. That should keep the head in place. It may be a little tricky to do that fold at first. And then you want to make sure you shape the ears. It may take a little bit of doing. Your flaps may come undone while you're doing that. Just put them back in. It takes a little practice to get that portion of this model correct. But once you have it, you should have a very flying squirrel-like face, head to the model. And now one of the only parts that's left are the fingers. So the way we form the fingers is you want to, the very last square here, you want to diagonal fold from the top back to the bottom right, across 1, 2 in the front, and then fold the back 2 down. Now the back one isn't a full square, it's kind of a diagonal there. Just fold opposite to that diagonal, like so. 3, 4. Like that. Unfold these, and then spread this out and sink along the diagonals you just made. Sink these down, each one of these. There we are. And then once you've done this, this one looks a little different. It's going to be diagonal here and then straight up and down there. And that's flat. Once you have these, fold from where the claw or the foot meets the model on the top all the way to the very tip of the finger. So you're going across the middle of 2. So across 2 and down 1. Fold like that. 1 and 2 layers in front. Oops. And then the 2 layers in the back. Unfold. Now spread them out. And fold along, sink along those lines. Using the lines you made in the previous step to reverse, and then reverse once more. Making some long, skinny sort of fingers like this. You want to do that on both sides of the model. You can squash fold these and give them a little bit of a different look. You don't have to. You can leave them pointy. Either way. You don't have to follow this tutorial exactly. If you want to make your flying squirrel look a little bit different, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a perfectionist and a purist like me, you will want to do every detail exactly like the artist intended it to be. You'll notice that I haven't done any of this sort of shaping to the back feet. I didn't really feel like it was necessary. Origami is sort of an art of abstraction, and I just didn't feel like the back legs needed toes to make it look truly like a flying squirrel. And you just want to continue this along all of these until you have something that looks like that. And you can do that to both sides. And then when you're done, the very last step is to sort of undo that little diagonal fold here along that lip, and then the corner you want to fold from this corner to that corner. Sometimes it helps to have a shaping tool, sometimes you just use your finger. Fold a mountain fold across there and kind of pull back the layers and sink that point and put everything back the way it ought to be. And that kind of gives a round shape. To the edge of the, not really a wing, it's a gliding animal, but you get it. It sort of rounds out this instead of just a sharp corner, which looks a little more organic. So, this is the origami flying squirrel. May require a little bit more shaping to make it look the way that you want it to. A fun project to do with this might be to make a smaller one and poke a hole here and have a bead on a string and have it hang from your rear view mirror so you can have a flying squirrel follow you in your car wherever you go. Or you can just make one for your significant other. Here you are, sweetheart, a flying squirrel for you. Or a flying squirrel, I have just found out today, is an endangered animal. Maybe if you are a fan of the flying squirrel, you can fold a few of these and bring awareness to that fact and help to save the flying squirrel from extinction. At any rate, I hope that you have enjoyed this model. And if you like what you see here, please share this video, like this video, tell your friends about it. Fold them, give them to your friends. I would appreciate it if you gave the credit for the model to Tim Rickman, myself. And if you have a minute, check out www.facebook.com/Rickman Origami, my Facebook page. I have lots of updates and information on there about upcoming video tutorials, fold-throughs, and contests, and more. Thank you, origami friends.